Hello, we're back on Farming Simulator 25. This is a tutorial on the menu. If you're a new player, you're going to want to check this out. So you're going to come up to this screen when you first turn the program on. That at the very bottom there is Change User. We're not going there. Credits. Let's go to Options for a second. Okay, this is what it looks like on console. And the PC has one extra page. I'll show you that in a second. But at the top there, you can invert the way it looks. Field of view, sometimes you might want that a little wider. Okay, first person field of view, third person field of view, game in HUD scale. Sometimes I change that. Brightness, I got my brightness ramped up just a hair. Realistic beacons, and then you have various volume levels for different things. Okay. For the PC, let me just pop that up here and show you what the PC looks like. Okay, for your PC, you're going to have this regular standard menu, the general settings like you do on console, but you're also going to have a screen for the display settings. Okay, so you got your hardware profile there. You've got your screen resolution. You can set the VSync, frame rate, and then the rest is the same here. You also have a screen with controls. There's a lot of them. I'm not going over all of these, but if you have a PC, you can get in there and take a look at those. And then you have some input for if you're using a controller, and I am. Okay, you leave that. It's going to ask you if you want to save the settings. You got the store. You got some achievements you've done. And you got downloadable content. This is where you go to get some extra stuff as it starts to pop in there. We've already got some. I just did a video recently on mods that's available, and you can see them in there. So these are some helpful things. You can go in there and check that out and see what's down there. Multiplayer, you can either join a game or create a game. If you go to join a game, you'll see them listed there. If you're looking for your buddy, you'll need to name it for something you can find easily. That's why all these asterisks are in there. It's kind of silly, but all right, careers. You're going to go here, click on that. Say you're starting a new game. You're going to go here at the top. You get to pick which map. Right now, there's 3 available. There'll be more as you can, once they put new maps on the mod hub there or the downloadable content, you can load a map and you'll see that up here also. Right now, you just have the 3. You have 3 modes: new farmer, farm manager, and start from scratch. Okay, and it shows you there the difference in the money. New farmer gives you a little starter farm. I recommend you start there if you're new. Farm manager, you can start with some money, but you don't have anything. And then start from scratch. Okay, it's going to give you less money and you owe money. Okay, makes it a little harder. You can have one cool thing about Farming Simulator 25 is you can change the start money this year. So you can start with 100 grand, or you can start with 250 or 500, 750, or $1 million, which is pretty cool if you want to experiment around. You can also change your loan amount up to $1 million. So that's pretty cool too, your initial loan. You have 3 economic difficulty settings: easy, normal, and hard. And what this does is it changes how much you get for your goods. I'll have another video on those settings, but easy, you get more. Normal's in the middle, and hard, you don't get very much at all. Start from scratch, that gives you the little starter farm. You're going to say yes. And the guided tour, if you've never played before, you might want to say yes, because it's going to give you a lot of help there. I'm going to say no. So we're going to go into a farm that I have set up already. When you go to load, I have the McDon pack already, and it's going to load that here. Okay, when you come to your farm, you're going to be here. And I have another video that shows looking around, but today we're just looking at the menu. So you're going to hit if you're on controller, you're going to hit the 3 lines, and this menu is going to come up. You're going to see this first menu here shows the fields. Okay, this is where you buy fields. It's going to show you crop types over here on the left, what's planted where. You can turn them on and off. Okay, you can go back to the top, scroll to the right. This is your growth screen. It shows the stage that your crops are in. So like this is being harvested over here. It ready to be harvested. These are coming up. These are not as further along in the growth cycle. Some are cultivated. You can see what's going on in your fields. Soil composition, you can turn these on and off. Like I'm not using a roller, so I had that cut off. I'm not using a mulcher, so I cut that off. And water is for rice, and I have that off. But I have on lime, fertilization, and weeds. And you can play with that and see what needs to be done on the next cycle for your crops. Okay, the next one, hotspots. It shows various things such as your equipment and also different places to take your crops, to sell them or to buy things. Okay, back to the top, scroll to the right. This shows the farmland. The highlighted ones are what you own. You start with these. I have purchased another field, which is here. Okay, and this is where you create a job. So I might pick a tractor here. Maybe I can pick this guy and I could send him somewhere to do something, set destination. Or you could also do that by hitting B and that menu would come up. The next screen shows your active workers. These guys are, you see I got one guy harvesting there at the top left. And then you're back to the crop types. If you hit the RB button, you're going to go down one. This is your crop growth calendar and also the weather. You can see the green there is when you plant and the red is when you harvest. Be wary because if you miss it and you're supposed to harvest it, it's going to wither and it won't be any good. If you hit the RB button again, you're going to go down one. These are your animals that you own. I do have an animal pen, but I don't have any cows in it right now. And they would show up there, whatever animals you have. This is where you do contracts. That's a whole nother video, but this is a great way to pick up some money. Be sure you can deliver the contract on time or else you're not going to make any money. You're going to lose. This is your production chains. It shows what's available that you can get, purchase, and it shows what you own. I happen to have 2 greenhouses. Next one down is the, it's a combination menu. It starts there with the prices of all your crops. You can see as you go through, the graph on the bottom shows when you get the best price, what month. And the place at the top shows you where you're getting the best price. Okay, so it shows where to sell it right now, or you can wait until like December for barley, and that's when I'm going to get the best price. If you're on console using a controller, and once you run this menu, you can hit the trigger button, and it will fast forward down to the menu. Okay, the next one over is your vehicles. This shows all the vehicles that you own, how many hours are on them, what you could sell them for right now. Next would be hand tools, if you had any, such as a chainsaw. And then this is really important. This is your finances, and it shows all the, in the red, all your expenditures, and in the white, all the positive money that you're receiving, and then your balance at the bottom. This also shows where you go to borrow money. You can do that in increments of $5,000 by hitting the X button on the controller, and you can pay it back by hitting the Y button on the controller. And the next screen over is statistics, and it shows various things about your game. Okay, if you hit the RB button one more time, you're going to be at this. This is where you save your game. You can have that set on automatically. You can go over to game settings. Okay, that's where you turn the autosave on and off. Different times. This is the time lapse. So you could have real time. Right now I have it 5 times, and this is your economic difficulty mode. Despite which map you started with, you can always change that in the course of the game. And once again, that affects the price you're going to get for your crops. Traffic, I usually leave that on for realism. You're going to see other cars, including on Farming Simulator 25, school buses and mail trucks, even something that looks like an Amazon delivery vehicle, which is pretty cool. Every now and then my guys will get stuck and I have to turn that off, okay, to unstick them. Seasons, this is where you have seasonal growth. In other words, you got to follow that seasonal calendar. I usually have that on yes on Farming Simulator 25. That was new in Farming Simulator 22. Days per month, you can play with that and go all the way up to 28 if you want. But keep in mind, if you change this during the course of a game, it waits till the next year to take effect. Fixed visual month, if you want to play and just see snow and it's snowing in December, you can stick it in December and stay there if you're just doing that, but that's kind of strange. Snow, you can turn that on or off. Crop destruction, right now I have that off. If you have it on and you drive over your crops, it's going to damage them. Periodic plowing, the default starts as off. Fieldstone, I turn that off. My granddaddy's farm in South Georgia, they didn't have rocks. Maybe in the mountains they do. Lime, I have it on. Weeds on. So if you have these on, there's certain things you have to do, or you're going to get a penalty on your crops if you don't put lime out or you don't take care of the weeds. Disaster destruction, that's new for Farming Simulator 25. So I have that enabled. So at some point I might have a tornado that's going to, or hail that's going to damage my crops. Dirt, normal. Automatic engine start, I have that on. So when I go to each one, it cranks up automatically, stop and go braking. Trailer fill limit, this is a little strange. If you turn it on, it's more realistic, but your trailer will be full based on weight instead of volume. Fuel usage, I got it set to normal. Okay, for your AI workers, you can have it buy fuel themselves or seeds or fertilizer, or you got to buy it. If you put off, then he'll run out and you got to refill it. Same thing with slurry, manure. Now, once you own cows or animals that produce slurry or manure, cows or pigs, and you have a basin for that, you can set this to draw it from your cow pen. All right, if you hit the 2 square menu, that's going to bring you to this. The very top there is going to be your different types of equipment or brands. And then here's where you go to purchase equipment. So tractors, you just look at the category you're looking for, and you'll have to scroll through this. Once you click on one, you'll see other options in there to purchase. So if you go to purchase something, obviously you got to have the money, but you can either purchase it or lease it. And I don't have enough money for either one, but it's going to show you what it costs to lease it. If you go down one, these are packs. It's very, very helpful. So if you want to get into sugarcane, for example, it will show you the base equipment you need for that. So that's a good training tool there. Next one down, that % sign is used equipment. So periodically, I check this every day. Sometimes what I'm needing to buy is in there, and you can get it for a % off. Now, keep in mind, though, later, it's going to require more maintenance because it's used. But it does save you money up front. This is going to show you whatever downloads you have, DLCs and mods on this screen. And then this screen, you can hop over to the animal dealer. You can change your clothes with the wardrobe. Construction, that's a whole nother video, but that's where you go to build things such as sheds, factories. That's where you do animal pens, lights, dress up your farm, and so forth. Okay, you paint the landscape, put trees, plants, sculpt the landscape, various things you can do there. Silos, silo extensions, constructibles, containers, tools, farmhouses. Factories, selling points, greenhouses, cultivation, and generators. Generators make money. And then you have all your animals there you can get. Goats are new, so are water buffaloes for Farming Simulator 25. And then this goes straight to your farmland you own or the vehicles you own. It's just a shortcut for that we were there already. And that's pretty much the map on Farming Simulator 25. I'm Farmer Teacher. Share this with your farming buddies. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.